Well, hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger from dansfish.com. Today I'm going to show you an unboxing, so let's take a look at what we got. So, while this is fast forwarding the boring part of me opening a box, look at that magnificent beard. Looks like all the hair fell off my head and onto my face. Anyway, here we go. First step is temperature. 69 degrees, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. Sometimes they come in the low to mid 50s, and that's when I start worrying. But 69, not a problem. So these are spotted headstanders. A little hard to see in the bag, so let's look in the tank. So here they are, pretty fresh out of the bag, and they're an amazing species. They're a kerosene, like a tetra or something like that, but they're kind of a benthic feeder. So what they do is they go around and they kind of graze on all the surfaces of your aquarium, similar to the way that like hillstream loaches or stiffodon gobies and things like that do. They will also pick food out of the water column, but they don't move fast at all. So that food has to be like watching them chase down a piece of flake. It's like watching a turtle chase a mealworm. I mean, they're pretty slow moving when they feed. So the best way to feed these guys is to get a bunch of food and let it kind of settle to the bottom of the tank, and then they'll pick at it and kind of gradually work it down. They're omnivores, but they do tend to like quite a bit of veggie in their diet. So I feed them a lot of rapashi. That's a 50-50 mix of like community blend with Soylent Green, which is a pure vegetable kind of rapashi. So they're getting a lot of veggies. They also like flake food though, and pellets and baby brine shrimp and all kinds of stuff like that. But keep in mind that they're a very sedate species. They're not very quick, and they like to kind of just hang out and pick at stuff all day long. So they're a grazing fish rather than like a feed me a big old meal right now, I'm gonna rush and eat it kind of fish. So they'll get outcompeted by really fast fish. So keep that in mind. That being said, they're not boring. They're like always on the move, just never very quickly. It's very rare that they kind of get up and get a burst of speed. And I think that they're really neat. They're head down, kind of pencilfish type behavior, and their patterns, that big black spot on their fins, they do spar frequently, but they don't hurt each other, and they're just a unique mix, from the kerosene family. So that's the spotted headstander right there. I have them in with angelfish and drapefin barbs and wild bettas, and they all do great together because none of those fish are super fast. So that tends to work out fine. All right, bag number 2. These are the angelfish that they're currently with. These are wild angelfish. They're out of Peru, and I brought them in just because I wanted to get back to a nice, normal scalari, Pterophyllum scalari, the angelfish. I really like domesticated strains as well. I have some kois right now and some green giants or Belgian greens as well. But every now and then I just like to get back in touch with what the fish is in nature. And that's these guys, wild fish from Peru. I just like the simple finnage, the simple color pattern. I still think they're gorgeous. And it's just nice to see fish that don't have, long veil fins or anything like that. It's just a nice change of pace, I guess, from the domestic strains. So that's why I brought these in, just for a change of pace. I think they're beautiful. A group of these is awesome. I also think that if you're a breeder, every now and then it's not a bad idea to mix something like this back into your line, so that you can get your finnage reset and your body shape and stuff reset. After several generations of captive breeding, we can sometimes lose things, and you'll notice that. You'll start seeing in domestic strains, you'll start seeing dorsal fins that are kind of out of whack. Actually, all the fins can sometimes get out of whack, and sometimes you'll even start missing some of like the pelvic fins and things, and the body shape can get a little funky on you. So that's why I brought these in, either just to have a nice tank of wild angelfish for someone, or for breeders who want to get some wild blood back in their lines to kind of cure the issues that can arise from inbreeding, which is how we get most of our domestic strains. And these guys are easy. They eat everything. They're as easy to keep, in my experience, as a domestic angelfish. They're not picky at all. They're fully acclimated and hardy, and so they're not like super frail or anything like that. All right, so let's see, bag number 3 here. This is Melanotaenia Sungear, the Sungear Rainbow. This is one that's hard to find, and I apologize for the video. The white balance isn't great on this shot, and these guys are fresh out of the bag, so they're kind of just clustered there and kind of stressed out and gray. But it's been a few weeks since I took this video, and so I'll do an update soon of what they look like now. Now they're stunning. The anal fin is bright red. They have a nice bold white margins on their fins, and they're a really, really good looking, really handsome rainbow fish. They're just as easy to keep as any of the other Melanotaenia rainbows. They eat everything, same kind of activity level, but a really unique color pattern, especially for the Melanotaenias. Kind of a bright red anal fin and neat white margins on some of the unpaired fins. So I really like that fish. I'm glad that it came in. Alright, so let's move on here to the last bag. This was a small order. I got shorted a lot of stuff, but 4 species came in. These are Stiphodon Gobies. I can't be sure of the species. There's many different kinds, and I'm not sure how well they're all understood. And it's kind of hard to identify them all unless you're a taxonomist. Some of them are quite different, like the neon blue or cobalt blue Stiphodon and things like that. But there's a lot in this have this look, so I'm not sure which these are. I know they're from Indonesia, so I suspect they're kind of an ornatus type. They might be ornatus or something that looks similar to them, but without getting someone like a fish professor to take a look and really count fin rays or look at mitochondrial DNA or whatever they're doing to identify these fish, I can't know for sure. But I don't really care either. I just think they're awesome. They're not a fish that we're going to be breeding very often in captivity. They're quite a challenge. So being that we're probably not going to be breeding them and mixing them and stuff and getting hybrids, then I'm not sure that knowing the exact species or the exact collection point or location of the fish and things like that is all that important to your average aquarist. Now there might be a Stiphodon geek out there who's watching this and can look at these and know exactly what they are, in which case please let me know if you truly know and aren't just guessing. I would like to know. I guess my guess is ornatus. But anyway, peaceful fish. Don't get more than, 2.5 inches or so they stay small. Really cool colors and finnage. They display a lot. They have a great personality like most gobies do, and they just kind of cruise around all day long and are a benthic feeder that grazes on biofilms and algae and stuff like that. They eat really well on rapashi, so they like that. But in an aged aquarium, good oxygenation is definitely necessary. Not high flow isn't absolutely a must, but a lot of dissolved oxygen is important. And I just think they're fantastic, really neat looking species and a neat addition to our hobby. So I'm glad to have these in. It's so hard to see in the bag there. The bag's all frosty. Anyway, that is about it for this unboxing. So let's go look at the amazing outro. All right, some pretty cool fish. Hope you liked them. If you have any questions or comments about them or about the shipment or shipping fish or any of that stuff, we can geek out. Just leave a comment below and I'll reply to you. We can get a discussion going. If you like this stuff, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, sharing, hitting the notification bell, all that stuff, then that would be great. Until next time, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.